Okay, so that's still broken. Love that. Let's try this. Okay, also stuff. So something is wrong with OBS game capture. Which means, unfortunately, until it's fixed again, I'm going to need to do display capture. Lovely. Okay, anyway. Also, I don't know why the World Stream Elements isn't doing what it's supposed to do, because it's supposed to be a second post, but who knows. Crows, crows, crows. I love crows. Subtitle language. Where's my mouse? No mouse. My mouse is gone. But, there we go. Okay. I'm going to do English subtitles. No. Not until the computer is barely visible. I mean, technically speaking. Current time, oh, for goodness sake. Approximately. Damn it, as soon as I hit it, it turned 32. Field of view, camera sensitivity, invert, controller vibration, I'm using keyboard or mouse, none of that nonsense to worry about. Narrator, music, sound effects main. This is a modern game, so definitely turn the audio volume down. VSync, full screen mode, okay good, borderless so I can move my mouse off of it, I feel like it. Resolution. Anti-aliasing, quality, there we go, there's stream elements, that's what it's supposed to be doing. Oh, keep it on 60. Anti-aliasing, quality profile, controls, WASD, good, 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 spacebar jump, interact, E, good, or mouse click, that makes sense. Crouch with, ooh, I don't like crouch with control. It's a good crouch button. Auto walk, right click, okay. How about this? Interact additional will make control. We'll make this click and we'll make, yeah, there we go. So I can crouch with the left mouse. That feels a little bit more natural. Because normally I would have I would have it be like right trigger or something, but there isn't really a right trigger here. Maybe shift will work. I'll do this. Okay. There. The end is never the end is never the end, never the end. It is never the end. Never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Relatable.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day.
Oh god, that's even worse than my job.
Year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
Okay, Stanley and I cannot relate. Stanley and I cannot relate in the slightest.
Was happy.
That sounds horrifying.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
You grew a
Something
spy?
he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
Everybody
Shocked, frozen
died.
solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Recommendations from the Oversight Committee. Hate Mondays. Isn't today Tuesday? I think today's a Tuesday. Oh, wait, that was one of the achievement names. That's why I think it's a Tuesday. Open the drawers. No. Okay, this is definitely not Portal. Can I go under the desk? Can I go under? No. Not quite short enough. Okay, fine. Let me in, let me in!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. Nor did it advance this, no matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace.
Screw you! I am going to touch everything anyway, I don't care. Just because you don't want me to. You should know better. Touch all the things. Something happened. There was something on that screen and now it's gone. I like work, I just hate my boss. Wow. Okay, this room? How to use help. Something.exe. Off. Be my Valentine. Who farted? Yeah, don't look at me. It definitely wasn't me. That door is locked. Keep dry. Man, his office is in the worst possible spot. Gotta say. Their construction. Oh wait, that's where I came from. Damn.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, of course not.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5
Do not
years
lie.
ago.
If you're lying right now, stop. You don't tell me what to do. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for missing cargo lift. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me.
Whee!
I'm asking for her. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Yay!
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very
I'm the
powerful.
best. Hang on 1 second. And now I'm back at the beginning.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Nope.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off
let's
on
see
the
what else
wrong
I'm supposed to
foot
say.
here. I'm not your enemy.
Other than
Really,
being
I'm
murdered.
not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Yep, that's what I was afraid of.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem
Can't
yourself.
tell we disabled it.
To put your
God damn it.
work aside. To let her back into your life.
Who?
She's been waiting.
I don't know who you're talking about. I just don't want to follow rules. Rules bad.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Hello? Anybody there?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
Yeah, 1 second. I just realized these are going through on stream, and that's probably not a good idea. Gotta go let everybody know in the Discord. Okay. There we go. Message the people in the appropriate Discords to let them know what happened. Back to work.
I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Screw you. You give me an exit, I'm gonna take it. Still can't jump. Is this safe for Twitch?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
When I employ for zone, press on your keyboard. No. I refuse. You can't make me. You can't make me. I guess you can make me, technically.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him.
That's awful.
And every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Oof. That's
Look
awful.
at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Well, because you won't let me
Now he's
proceed
pushing
afterwards.
buttons. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's
Stanley
coming
sounds
back to
horrible.
work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this
Why would
life.
you do that? I am pressing every single button except the one it demands me to. Hoping for any alternative dialogue.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions.
That's more
into
than
the
I expected of him.
unknown. Fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was
Hang on. Pulling OBS back up.
wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly...
Wait, are they just explaining the entire game now?
The
Because
thought
I ignored the rules.
excited him terribly. So, he went further. He imagined
Wow.
that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door.
Wow.
The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
I never saw
Down
that.
another was a yellow line that
There must
in
have been a
many
lot of
directions.
content if I followed the
Down
directions.
another was a game with a baby.
Oops.
And he called it the Stanley Parable.
No.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then
God.
again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free.
I think the
Surely
narrator's
there's an
evil.
answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
No.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Definitely feels like I sped run to get to this part.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer.
Man, you're
that as
mean.
long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
I was going to do it anyway. I just realized I've had the intermission screen on this entire time. That's embarrassing. I mean, you didn't miss much, just it telling me to do things and me doing them. And me staring at a wall. Yeah, silly goose. Yeah, someone got hacked. Because game capture isn't working, I had to use screen capture, and that captures Discord messages. But I'm not Discord. I mean, Steam messages. And someone got hacked on Discord, and I was talking with them on Steam to let them know, hey, you got hacked. And then I forgot to turn off the screen being off. What? Nothing? You're not going to tell me anything for not doing anything? I'm going to just stand still. Meow. I'm busy doing nothing, kitty. Can't you let me do nothing? Hi, kitty. I'm going to play with you right now because the game won't let me not do anything. I'm surprised it's not yelling at me. I genuinely figured there'd be some dialogue yelling at me for not pressing the button. Kitty. What you talking about, kitty? You want all my attention, kitty. Hello, let's give kitty pets. Way more important than pressing button on game.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself?
Wow.
How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Fine.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose.
True that.
I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
Silly
And I
narrator.
tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Oops, I died. Yay, I win! I beat the game.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Yeah,
What could
we've
it
heard this
mean?
already. I need to go
Stanley
follow the
decided
rules.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he
laughter
wanted to
behind
stop
you,
by
that's
the employee
interesting.
lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art.
I don't like how
What
it steps
was it
downwards.
about
That's
this room
obnoxious.
that called? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Fine.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Nope. Did you really expect to
But
give me that
Stanley
easily?
didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Why would I follow
So
the
now in order
rules?
To get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
Is there another option besides left? I need to take the option that's not left. Where is the not left? God damn it.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Fuck you.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right?
I'm a murder
was I
you,
thinking?
stupid narrator.
It's
I'm a
clear.
murder you.
Oh, dear. Would you hold on for a minute, please?
God damn it.
Let's see. We went down right, down, left, right. Yep. Okay. Yes.
I don't believe you.
I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
There's a truck. I figured it was going to run me over.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now.
427.
The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm?
Nope.
Okay, from the top.
Fuck you.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
I pressed a button. I turned the
Here
computers
just
off.
A minute ago. I know for
In
sure.
my
it's here
co-workers'
somewhere.
rooms.
Okay then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
And clearly we go the wrong direction because that's what I always do. Ooh, different direction. Whee! Running around at the speed of run. Got places to go, and none of them are where you want. Everyone knows what you did. They're just holding back to let you torture yourself. Oh god, I need to not laugh too much. It shakes the mouse, and that's not good. Last thing I need is a shaky cam.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
I don't believe you.
Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again.
You think?
But it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
God damn it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Installation,
Perhaps he had simply missed the
67%.
memo.
Boop. Wait, day for restrictions are lifted. Yeah, that makes sense. Hang on. Yeah. This sucks, but hopefully I'll be able to get it resolved. Okay. Dooby 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 doo. Let's go to the doors of adventure. They're gone now entirely, aren't they?
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong.
You suck.
It's possible the story is back where we just came from.
I don't believe
Why don't we
you.
go back the other direction and see if we missed anything.
You are a liar. You are a liar. You lie like a liar who lies. And it won't let me jump anymore. I like jumping.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
We're going in
No,
circles.
wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
You are the worst. Also, these rooms are geometrically impossible.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at
I
all.
recognize this place.
Is this the story? I don't think
This is
so.
what a lot of the houses I looked at when I was trying to find to
But
buy
I
a
believe
house.
My story took place in an office building.
This is what a lot of them look like.
Do you remember, Stanley?
No?
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations!
I win the game.
I put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good
I'm
job.
a winner. I'm a wiener.
Oh, no, I don't feel right about this
Oh,
at all.
I wanted to win.
No, you didn't put in any actual work.
Yes,
for
I
that
did.
win.
I yelled at you a lot.
Fair and square, and this was not one of those
That was fair and
situations.
square.
Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time.
No,
I have
this
to
place gives me
start.
nostalgia for... Oh.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable
Fuck
Ultra
off.
Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Excuse me, busy not following the line. Okay. I'm going everywhere except for the line. Okay, this corner looks real nice. This is a nice... Ooh, the ceiling. Can I jump? It won't let me jump still. Okay, I'm going this way. Screw the line.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
You mad? Doobie-doop. Stupid
You see,
box won't fall
the
off.
line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Nope. Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me.
No.
Now, we can both agree that the nature
Now
of
that this door
existence
is
is in
open.
fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
This is some
Okay.
getting
Now,
over it
if
with
my
Bennett's body
experience of
shit
your
right here.
existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this
Went the wrong
office,
way.
is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there.
Yep.
Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to
Oh,
lighten the
thank
mood.
God. I regret saying that. Never mind. God damn it. God damn it. Why did I say it? This music. The computer's off. Damn it. What does it say here? Looks like a resume and also an order for Pokeballs. No, I want it. No, I want You can't prove I love it even though I sing along. Can't prove I love it though I'm singing the song. Song of the dance and the running forward. Doobie-doobie-doo, the adventure song.
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully.
Alright.
You won't want to miss anything.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 on the bottom. Besides the few in the back that I can't quite see. We'll say 23 maybe. And then on the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Okay, about 20 on the top too. So 20 on the top and about 23, 24 on the bottom. Got it. All good.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Ooh, copy machine. My mom used to have one like that. I think it's dead now. It's very tragic. Guess where we are.
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Stupid line.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're
Nothing.
intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Doobie doobie doop 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 doop
Now,
doop.
yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
Get to
What do you
go to the
want our
closet
story
yet?
to be?
I got
Wild. Use your
got him to lecture
imagination.
me about
Whatever it might be,
how I'm the main
Stanley,
character of the story,
I'm ready for
and then
it.
he killed me after I pressed buttons. Does that count?
Oh,
And he
no,
definitely
you
spoiled the
again.
adventure line.
Stanley.
But yeah, I
also want to
deliberately
veto the line
did
from
not
having
follow
any more in
directions
our
at
awesome
all.
new story.
And then I went
lines or
downstairs, and I
monotone
think that triggered the
Just
actual
don't acknowledge
story.
it, and we should be fine.
I think I might have missed the closet because I deliberately went the other direction. Good news, the line went in the ceiling.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision.
So if the closet was
From
there,
here,
then I
the
missed
story
it.
is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
You're playing the confusion
Hold up, what's
ending.
this? Ooh,
First restart, second restart, third restart, fourth
confusion
restart,
ending.
fifth restart,
You're
sixth,
telling me
seventh, eighth,
That's
nine,
what
lock.
this is? It's all one giant ending?
Five confusion ending schedule,
Am I
data
supposed to
restarts the
restart the
game.
game, what, eight-
Forgets about
eight
previous restarts to play the
times?
game story, but
That's really how all this goes?
six restart, fall on again, begin
Determined.
talking line, technical office, the beginning of tier, and make a
So
story,
now,
data
according to
restarts.
the schedule,
No,
I
we're not
restart
talking
again.
books or get
Then
bored
what?
and leave, data
Am I
restarts the
just
game,
supposed to forget?
Ner's gone, and then Stanley
Well, what if I
dies.
don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
You've been playing the confusion ending
Well,
for 18
You
minutes,
consulted
okay.
me. Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a
That's
say
love
in
how
all
both
of
doors
this?
led here.
Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us?
Nope, we're just
Something
trapped in
happened?
office hell forever.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination, so I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Fuck off, game.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Fuck
Perhaps he
off.
had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Take a precaution. I'm not supporting you more. What do people want? Things, money, more money. Use slides for employees. Everything is okay. Make sure your slide is simply graphing the header. There's some bevel out with the text to ensure a calm, productive work environment. Things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs about things and money. We have our new product. Everyone is unique. You most of all. The stock market is somewhere here. Colored in segments. Stripes. Require more secondary research. Never slides in the slides. Slides, charts, charts, and slides. What is hot? Target demographic. Teenagers. Profits, 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 profits. And one of them spelled wrong. Rate at which charts on the same slide. Pick the same information. Charts. Market report. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please no more charts, please. I'm begging. Stop. Let's appreciate Mark at the top and think about my boss. Triple attorney, boss appreciation specialist. Bi-quarterly post-review review. Stop helping a personal conflict. Find helping conflict with Dylan deploy like yourself. More client toward conflict. Remember that takes 2 people to start a fight, and right now you're both of them. What are your dreams for the future? Talk radio, nature, transcend, plant life, football, comatose, metamorphosis, clear skin, pollution, less air. A boat. Mitosis. Charts. And it loops. We need less reviews. 402 plus 405. Want to get rid of the death sport portion of the primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers. More water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic big nets. Some sort of child trap. Teenagers, size of demographic, a lot of percent, space between the teenagers. Throw something in the ideas bin. No more bin, trash can. Renaming the ideas on firing of me. Ideas bin. To do, synergize, core value, expenditures, shift global market parade. Monetize, free to play. Ah, fuck off. Something, quarterly pie chart profits, and then it's all unreadable. Does it loop? I'm already basically at the end. I might as well see if it loops a third time. Or if there's something new. Oh, hey, look, one more. Not cost division targets. Pushing for funding for R&D plus new coffee machine. Am I bored? No, I am having a lot of fun. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Synergize papers. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy who moved my desk. Please keep targets on the topic of erased. Not cost efficient. Standard graphs 40 times wide. The future was yesterday. Tomorrow is now. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. Employ 417, 415, 491, 415, 431, and jam. Meeting room. Meeting schedule. Marketing Mondays. Weekly target admin. Termination Tuesdays. We're broke Wednesday. Thursday mergers. Prinking floor 5 meeting. Weekly review. What to do by 4:32. Groups. 4:41's private time. Legal. Bosses inspection. Ideas plus development. Financial panic meeting. Office submissions. This box is too small. Pre-review of weekly review. Office party. Don't tell 4:32 about meeting. That seems like it's going to work great. Planning. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Is there a marker I can use to alter it? No. I love how interact does nothing. And neither does jump. Synchronizing core value paradigm of 2020, 2002, whatever. All negative. I'm not bored, but Stanley's job is definitely boring.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I don't believe you. You keep talking, therefore there's a reason to be here.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing?
Because you keep
Please
talking.
offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
You keep providing dialogue, therefore I stand.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
That's why I'm still
here. I
here.
never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
There's an ending for this, I guarantee it. Just because I'm still here.
Stanley was
guess I'm just going to say
and
it.
really stupid. He probably
Hey, GLaDOS.
because of a family connection. That's how stupid
Hi,
he is.
GLaDOS.
That or with
Not
drug
funny,
money.
GLaDOS.
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Hey, don't kink shame. Some people like hookers.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of.
Hey, Ella, can you remove my body before it decomposes?
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey
this
to
webcam
any
can't
number of your
reach.
countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species.
Hi,
Please
computer.
remove their corpse from the area and instruct another
Ella,
human
can you
to
please
take their
remove my
place,
corpse from the
making sure
computer
they understand
and have
basic
someone else,
first-person
please,
video
understands
game
video game
mechanics
mechanics
and
play?
filling them in on the
Can you
history
play this
of
game, Ella,
narrative
for me?
tropes in video
Apparently I'm
gaming,
dead.
so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
No. Excuse me. Doopy 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 doop. Anything except stepping into the hallway. Just because the game told me not to. And therefore I am here. I'll give another 30 seconds, and if there's still no dialogue, I'll leave. I've noticed the game tends to give dialogue pretty quickly, so I feel like if it's been this long with no dialogue, there's probably no dialogue.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you, too. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to.
Ayla, I think they're
Fish,
talking to you.
Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Dooby-dooby-doo. Dooby-dooby-doo. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna get out of this. Let's go back.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Hi, Louie. Something first. Something and left, something, and the colors are from something. Hey, there is something daily, something is thinking each other, something, or cooler than because something. And it's somebody I don't know.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And
Probably
then
is.
something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look
Starting
pretty familiar.
to? They've been
Were they
familiar for the
simply
last
repeated?
4 loops.
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
That's the first thing I asked.
Being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I hate how half sentences have quotation marks on the left side and not the right side. That really bothers me.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
the first time I ever went in the door on the left. You proud of me?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Executive bathroom. Got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's a lovely purse. Extreme bathrooms. Testifies in the trial of the century. Timer of getting azure porcelain. Faucets, pipes, offshoots. Okay, it's not only me. I need to take a break. Having that issue again. And unfortunately, the settings don't support everything I need. Now that's a great time. Take a break. I will be right back. I needed to walk around for a bit. And back. Sorry about that. I was really hoping I was handling it. As anyone might have recalled from some of the prior games I've heard to play, I've had a few issues with specifically first-person 3D games. In particular, ones with view bobbing. I was really hoping that I was taking it easy enough in this game and that it wasn't too big of a problem and that I could stop standing still long enough, but no, I just... if I'm going to keep playing this, I'm going to need to take a break every now and then, basically.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I wasn't paying attention to what? Pompousness?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly... Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Totally.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I wonder if I could even play Portal at this point. I mean, no, I don't think, but I played Portal 2 on Switch. But this... I wonder if I could play it on PC again. Huh.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his
no,
chest.
not... Why? Why? Why would you do that right now? How there's no way.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
Why?
This question would not go unanswered for long.
Why would you talk about the idea of a feeling in the chest?
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me.
Got
Why
that right.
did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a good
Because the
question. I
button
just
was
can't wait to
there
find
and you
out.
told me not to press it, so I pressed it. No. A great key, but you're also being a nudge.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated.
Welcome.
It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Fuck you too.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Office. Just gonna guess.
Oh my God. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Meow. You want food, don't you? There's dialogue, though. We can't miss the dialogue. Also, couldn't you ask for food while I was on break? Your ability to be cat never ceases to amaze.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Expert narrative. I gotta feed Kitty BRB. Well, she has food. Up to her to eat it. Yay! Don't worry, the game took care of that for you. I've turned up the field of vision.
Going
Hopefully
back
that
down
helps.
the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Got that right? I can press the button a fourth time! Does he not say anything the fourth time? Aww.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious. So fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice?
Wow! You're taunting me for going in the
There we
elevator
go.
constantly.
Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible.
Ah!
Big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started.
I think you missed the closet scene,
Where's
sadly.
the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to
I gave you
imagine
food.
the
It's on your plate. I showed you where it
to have to
is.
think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the
I
eventual
can't do anything
reveal.
more for you, Keith.
This is storytelling,
It's up to you.
Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know.
The narrator just makes me want to punch him.
Starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital.
God
and alive.
damn.
That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh good, we're here.
Oh, nice.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
World's healthiest human being, Alter's revealed, how we did at the pyramids, live, the guy who went to Mars, live on stage. An evening with World Peace Baby. Stanley Parable Stanley live
yes,
on
there it
stage.
is, just through this
Stanley from the Stanley Parable live tonight, live on stage. The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. World's first sentient machine, a Q&A. Doing great, a conversation with Alexander the Great. And then here's something. To stage. Welcome
Are you
stage.
ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in
Table, nut bar,
storytelling
almonds,
and what it
cherry
means
gum.
to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from
Break
the
a
heart.
leg, champ,
I'm-
your boss.
I'm really
Thanks for showing me
proud
the
of
cool
you,
stupid in the
Stanley.
parking lot. You too cool. Good luck on
Okay,
stage. Rock
it
on.
looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
I love the way you ride elevators. No one tells stories like you do. Go get 'em, Tiger. Story. Stanley, me, David, age 6. Or Dad, age 6. I think I recall hearing that this is one of the new ones for the Ultra Deluxe. I don't know where I heard that, but I slowly remember that this is one of the new ones. Ooh. Not good, not good, not good. Yeah, I think that was one of the new Ultra Deluxe
to the meeting
endings.
room to
Or
check on his
correctly.
co-workers. He never functioned
Having
well
never
by
played
himself
any of the normal
and
ones.
constantly needed support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Fuck you.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Why did that tilt? Oh, that was bad.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Nope.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Fuck off.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Fuck you. Like, I really want to keep going on this, but my guess is I won't be able to do more than, like, I don't know, probably no more than 2 hours, and I'm going to need a break in the middle, but I think I should be able to handle this in smaller doses than usual is all. Hey, at least there's no risk that I play the game for like 8 hours.
A large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, hey, this is the one that was mentioned in the ending that I got that I wasn't supposed to see yet.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
427. He's my office.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Oh, it could be.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Meow. Oh, I just realized, you never heard this last time.
Honk.
There you go, that's all.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I fed you, and played with you, and pet you. Well, I'm trying to dismantle it, but I don't see a dismantling button. And the best part is I can replay it as much as I want.
Honk.
Oh, and it's not the same one every time, I guess? Weird.
Honk.
I thought it was supposed to be different ones depending on different amounts donated. What do I remember? Or maybe it's just not set up.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yes.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go. Turn the controls off and leave.
Nope.
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Yay!
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Hooray!
All until detonation then, let's say, 2 minutes.
Okay.
Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind.
Hey, I'm gonna
What
die.
a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
Tick.
More time to
Tick.
talk about you,
Tick.
about me,
Tick.
where we're
Tick.
going.
I'm gonna
what
die.
all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
No, I don't care.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing
when that
everyone
happens.
inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
The same thing,
My
except I'll press off
goodness,
this time.
Only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? Here's our precious additional seconds. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to
I'm just
button,
watching the timer countdown. I'm waiting for the explosion.
clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door.
Now.
Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
They go boom!
Stanley.
I'm gonna go boom.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death.
50 seconds left and then I
I
die.
want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Whee!
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully?
I'm
Another
singing the
choice.
song that I'm
Make it
going to
count.
die
Or
to a
die. It's all
nuclear
the same
bomb
to
because
me.
the
All about
booter is
it.
angry.
And believe me, I
Angie,
will be
Angie,
laughing at every
narrator,
second
go
of your
boom.
inevitable life from the
3,
moment we fade
2,
in until the moment I
1,
say, have a
0. I died. Yay! I win. I win the game. That's the rule. I gotta do everything except the thing it tells me to.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
That is always the correct
Stanley
answer,
decided
is
to
whatever
go
it
to
tells
the
me
meeting.
not to do
Perhaps
first.
he had simply
I
missed
only
that.
do the thing I'm supposed to do when I've done everything else. New content? Ah. Old content.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Because
he
I
entered
still
the
haven't
door
done
with his
something,
left.
technically.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad.
Thank you.
Stanley pushes some buttons.
Thanks.
New passageway. Kill surprise.
Yay! I don't gotta press the buttons. Thank you, game. Appreciate not wasting my time yelling at me this time. Was the elevator up last time? Maybe not.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yep.
The lights
Okay, now
rose
there's
on an
two
enormous
angles I
room
gotta
packed with
pursue.
television screens. What
There's
horrible
new content
secret
and
did
there's
this place
escape.
hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
So this time I press the off button and see if it changes things.
Now,
But
the
I've got two
monitors
other
jumped to
endings to
life,
pursue.
Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control.
Okay, the good news is I am feeling
it was
better.
too horrible to believe it couldn't
So I should be
be
able to go for a
true.
while. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do
Stanley
this
had
for,
been under
like,
someone's
forever.
control all this time.
But I'm able to hang
Was
on
this
for a
the
while
only reason
longer,
he
I
was
think.
happy with his boring job? That
Meow.
his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Hey, cutie. Are your emotions being manipulated to accept this blindly?
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
Can you refuse
His
to believe
own
it? Do
life
you
in
accept
someone
it?
else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
Never went this way
Happy
before.
Or sad.
Brr.
Or
Ah.
content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay, I will, but give me a second. I'm looking for a very specific button. 1, 2. Is it only 1, 2, 5? Is there no... Is that it? Oh, that's 3. There is something very important I need to do. If I can do it. I think it's up there. Okay, fine. I'll go turn it off. But I will find the 8 button. That is the only thing left I know about this game. I need to press the 8. Waiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty.
That game over?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Bullshit.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
At least 2.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
What if I do? Fine.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be murdered by the narrator. Beat the game. Complete Stanley Parable. Yay! I win. 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 But can I do it in under 4 minutes?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude...
I'll do new content in a second, but there's an achievement for beating the game in under 4 minutes.
He entered the door on his
Then I'm that idiot. I can't follow directions, but I sure as hell will go in a speed run for an achievement.
Person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
I am
Stanley decided to go up to
dumb.
his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Thank you. Thank you for door. I like door. Yep, no messing around. Just
Stanley walked straight
to
ahead
it.
through the large door that read
Hi,
Mind
Escape.
Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
Unfortunately,
screens.
this part I think is going
What
to have to be
horrible
scripted.
secret did this place hold?
I don't think I can speed this
Stanley
up at
thought
all.
to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I am genuinely surprised that the jump function was turned off so quickly. Like, I had jump for maybe
monitors
like
jumped to
5
life.
minutes
Their
beginning of the
true
game, and then it's
nature
going to wait
revealed.
immediately.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers.
Come
The
on, come on.
lives
I
of
think I'm
so
like 2
many
minutes in.
individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to
comes.
believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
Boy.
Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again...
Okay, did I do it? I don't know if I did it on time.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. unshackled himself from
Running out
someone
the
else's
door,
command.
running out the
Freedom
door.
was mere moments away.
Gotta escape, gotta
And
get
yet,
the ending.
Even as the immense door
In under 4
slowly opened,
minutes.
Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Don't care. This is an
Where had
achievement.
his co-workers gone?
I'll get you in a
How had he been
second.
freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking.
Need to go out the
but
door.
happiness.
It's been like 4
Perhaps
minutes.
his
I need to
goal
do this
had
under
not
4
been
minutes.
to understand, but to let go.
Hurry up.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Admittedly, some part of it was
Whatever
including
life
the
he
loading
lives,
time,
it
so
will
that's
be
okay.
his. And
But
that
this
was
definitely isn't
all
loading
he needed
times.
to know.
This is
It was
monologue.
perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was
No idea if I got
exactly
it.
the way.
If I didn't get it, I'm
right
not going
now,
to retry. I did that
things
almost
were meant
perfectly.
to happen.
I don't feel like
And
redoing
Stanley
it.
was happy.
Doesn't look like it. That sucks. Damn. That sucks. Yeah, quit the game, start again. Click on door 435 times. All the 8s. Complete in under 4 minutes, 22 seconds. Yep. Yoink. 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 Yoink.
Story of a man named Stan. This is the story of
Yoink. Disables the jump because you don't need it. Oh, there's more down that I didn't notice. That's why. Subtitle, background, opacity. Show translation labels. Show color labels. Reduce motion. Thank you. Says their inputs and precision platforming. There's platforming. Oh, okay. Content warning, suicide, trauma, mental health issues. Fair. Thank you for that option, even though I don't personally have need of it. Okay. Did I get the settings achievement? Doesn't look like it. Damn. Yeah, there's an achievement for set all the setting sliders to all the available numbers. Oh, okay. That sounds like work. Alright, let's see if increased field of
Someone was
vision and
following
reduced
Stanley.
view bobbing
He was sure of
helps.
it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
There's been no one else in the game so far, and now you're like, hello, there's someone, and I'm like, no, you don't, you fucker. Don't you do this to me. Don't you make me paranoid like this. New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I'm assuming new for Deluxe. That's my guess. I also guess. Like me into bugs. Yep.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable
Yep,
Ultra
knew it.
Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Yeah, you and the bugs. Yeah, that makes sense.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Let me guess,
Oh, well,
this part's super
sounds
boring.
Delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
I guess it's gonna be the most boring part of the game.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Nothing about this adventure's been mesmerizing. It's been passive-aggressive and tongue-in-cheek, not memorizing.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content.
It's gonna be more hallways, isn't it? Please let it be more hallways. Please be more hallways, I'm begging you. Just endless hallways.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Yes!
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Let me jump more. I want to jump more.
Is that it? Surely that's not
The
all
TA
the new
warning?
content. There has to be something else, right?
That's fair.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are
TRIK.
not positive.
Ow.
It's just elevators and jumping.
Fair
Is
enough.
this what passes for exciting new content? If this is
Fair
new
enough,
content,
fair
I'd
enough.
just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that
Please
on the
don't.
books.
That'll
The
take
Stanley Parable
years.
Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000
1,000?
hours of new
Counting to
content.
30
And
trillion would
oh,
take
wait,
centuries.
there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. Oh, you've got to be kidding
Thank you for
me,
enjoying the new
Stanley.
content.
This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm
Is that the achievement I'm
infuriated
about to
and
get?
offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built
What's
up
going
too
on?
much anticipation around the new content, I'm
Nothing,
afraid.
technically.
It could never have lived up to such expectations.
Have you played Stanley Parable
If you're
4?
still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks, just you and me having a great time
I
together.
don't believe
like
you,
always.
narrator. I don't believe you.
What do
I'm
you
saying
say,
it.
friend?
It's a game about following directions, except when you don't. What the? This is new. Oh, hey, look, it's where we're supposed to go on a picture. It's a very meta game. Stanley Parable is a very meta.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent.
Nope.
I want to show you something. Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
I know if I go through the door, it'll close, so. Okay, let's see what the cool surprise is. I can't stand up here. Coffee nut. I fell down. Yeah, I think the settings actually help because I'm
you
feeling
remember
better.
how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
And this is content you've never seen, right, Nikki? Because I don't think you've seen Ultra Deluxe.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all
Does
my
it have a guide to all the
memories
endings?
so I can relive the peak experiences of my life when
That would actually be really cool if there's a list of
experiences
endings.
like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013?
This is like never played. That's fair. That's fair.
Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something.
Excellent. Postcards. Remember, is a pupper. I pupper. I'll say 2013 when the game was so much better. The Stanley Parable Collector's Edition, First Edition, Galactic Cafe World Class Awards. 2014 Independent Games Festival Audience Award. The British Academy of Film and Television awarded to something. Stanley Parable. Last of Us. Because, yeah, I think Last of Us did beat it in the Game Awards. Because, of course, it did. Fucking Last of Us. Stanley Parable Galactic Cafe game, exploration, story game, and choice. It doesn't matter. My name of game. If you have a choice, well, let me know how you did it. Buy on Steam or download the demo. What everyone's saying. Linguists identify 15-year-old ultra-conserve word watching post. Those awards sound meaning have survived the past 2,000 years. 6 components of a great corporate culture. John Coleman, Harvard Business Review. Business bloggers, Harvard Business Review discuss a variety of business topics, including managing people, innovation, leadership, and more. The original remake. Be My Valentine. Good times. And it's just all the places we've already been. Trip down memory lane. Bits of music from Stanley Parable. A dollar bill. A TV where they just have the demo. Unachievable. It's impossible to get this achievement. I don't think they allow that anymore, so they had to get rid of it. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years, because now there's an achievement for 10 years instead, which a lot of people apparently got by just changing the time on their computer by 10 years. Nominee, British Academy Award. The Stanley Parable for Game Innovation. Debut game. Nominee, Story. New video game releasing today. Creators surprised down to earth. Rutgers goes from scandal to new crisis. College so uneven effort to enroll poor. Cost hinder new tech to achieve diversity. Business leaders pushing election of council allies. 50% of dividers are half, but a small creature owns the other half. All that is fit to print New York Times. Legend sunny, hot, humid, 92, blah, 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 blah. Weather. Los Angeles Times Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Friday, June 7th, 2013. October 17th, 2013. And then dead. I want to sit on the bench. I can't sit on the bench, even though it looks kind of ugly, actually.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes,
Dear
and I
Esther
quote,
Waste. Wow.
so
Poor
many
dear
times that
Esther.
aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of
Wow.
art. Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created.
Oh,
That's how
Destructoid.
grand
This is
and
why no one takes you
all-encompassing
seriously.
the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable
I
anymore.
love how you
It's
review
just
what's
a
now known as
husk
Stanley Parable
now.
HD, and he's
A
ignoring that
lifeless
part.
husk with an hour of new elevator content.
How do you view what has become known as Stanley Parable HD, the full-scale reimagining one of the most intriguing mods available online? How do you discuss it, analyze, and recommend it? Oh, was this the actual release of something else? That might be why. Fantastic Arcade 2013, IndieCade 2012, IGF 2013, IGF 2013. Oh, good God. Minecraft! I miss when I loved Minecraft a lot. The tasteful nostalgic. It was good. Yeah, that describes me and my love of Minecraft. Memory zone maintenance. Back when Minecraft was simpler. Person of the year, Stanley. I miss 3D Pipe Maze. That was a good fucking screensaver. Stanley Parable came with all this shit. Collector's Edition. Car for Scott. Greatest wealth is memory. And then there's never... People play games because what they can do inside them, and your game is very good at letting them know they can't do anything. Literally anything.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
Oh, God!
The Stanley Parable
I
is
was
both
using
a
the
much
forums back
stimulating
then.
commentary on the
I
nature of
remember
choice in
this
games,
review.
and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game.
God damn
9
it.
out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust
wrong way
in
has
the
never
hallowed
felt so
hall
right.
of beloved video game
Oh,
memories.
Carolyn! Right. Remember her. Yeah, that was back when I was still using the GameSpot forums quite regularly. That is actually funny. I remember that review from back when I was using the site. That actually is nostalgic for me. Just seeing that again. I don't know, I'm weird. Repeatable Tarko protections ready for your game project. Gray, red, missing coworker scenario, meeting, boring, and grass trial version. 6 royalty-free designs. Source SDK. Move objects, create levels, graphics. Upgrade now.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Bad news, there's only one way to go. And it's down.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
No, the door is shut. It's almost like this is the Stanley Parable still.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game
Oh
distributor.
no!
I haven't looked at these in years.
Oh
I can't even
no!
imagine Surely these
Why would
reviews
you do
were
this?
well, weren't they?
Why would you do this to us? Why would you do this to yourself?
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Funny. I suppose I could write up a handful of blogs to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Sorry, Hale, I did not mean to disturb you. That was amazing. If this is all the new content they put in, that'd totally be worth it. Just them mocking the shit out of themselves. Ooh, okay, what is it?
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to.
You know
These
you're
black
reading the
marks
positive
are my
ones?
otherwise unimpeachable track record.
Trust me, there's some nice Steam
I
reviews
feel
too.
like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Still can't jump.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
To be fair.
A skip button.
To be fair.
Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not
I just
if
want
it
the
means we can
achievement.
strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Yay! That'll make getting the achievement a little easier because I can cut out like a half a minute.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review.
That is a great question. I
guess I should
pretty sure you
become
can.
better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this
Hey,
very
Gabe, get on
situation.
that.
Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or
Does
perhaps
he totally
they'll
do
simply
anything?
grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial.
Oh,
something
God,
along
that's
the lines
terrible.
of, this game is the best game.
That would be
Let me
awful.
start over.
if Steam did.
How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes. It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of it. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
Oh, God.
I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times.
Oh, God,
and
we're
there's
stuck.
no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. You're back. You're back. Oh my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel.
You needed an
Stanley.
audience.
Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground.
You just want to be a
Thing
model.
I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything.
Somehow this makes you
To know
more
that someone
intolerable.
else is taking it
You need
in.
to know
These
someone else
words
is
that I'm saying,
absorbing
I need to
your
know you can hear
monologue.
me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you...
I mistimed it. I meant to do. Should have done it a bit faster.
Hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that
So it's
feeling had
2023
begun to
now?
subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single...
Just double checking. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that did okay. Making sure.
instant. In that
It's weird if I didn't get the achievement, I'm
could
glad
see
I
myself
went back and
clearly,
checked.
calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust, simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without
Waiting for the
consequence,
perfect moment.
without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events.
My guess is you gotta
Not
press
if
the skip
all
button a number of
events
times to
existed
proceed.
in the same moment, and I felt freed.
I think he's dead. I think we killed the narrator.
But But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability.
You putting about the Steam reviews on Ultra
unwillingness
Deluxe.
to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
I bet this pissed people off. This is the kind of content that makes all those negative reviewers be like, see, I told you so. Uh-oh. The room is moldy and collapsing and crumbling. I forget what it's called, but it's an old book I read a long time ago, Something Something and His Daughters, about a man where every time he falls asleep, he doesn't know exactly when, but every now and then he just shoots forward several generations in the future and awakens by his descendants, who were always his daughters for some reason. I don't remember why. I don't think there was a reason for it. But he just keeps skipping forward through time as society develops. Things go in and out of fashion, bananas go extinct so he can't get one anymore. But in the end, he always manages to find someone who's like, oh, I know who you are, as he just becomes a legend that passes down throughout all eternity from his family. It was a story of all time. Ooh, pretty. Pretty birds and plants. Well, there's something out there. You know, I think hell might have broken loose. Just saying. Oh, hey, we can leave. Yay! Oh, beautiful. Open-ended choice. We can go wherever we want now. Finally! Stanley Parable is finally an open-world game, motherfuckers. Hell yes. Free to go wherever we want. In an endless sea of eternity. Endless content. Endless choice. Endless freedom! I think we win.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Yeah, I'll go a little bit further. New content. That was funny. That was cute. It did something, and now I'm like, how did it do that, and can I do it again? Because the answer is no idea and no. New content. Hell yes.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
This'll definitely be worth it. It's the elevator, isn't it?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The
Let it
original
go,
Stanley Parable
dude.
was a landmark.
Let it
New
go.
content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense.
Oh,
I say
no.
we take it
Oh,
one
no.
step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce
Oh,
for the first
no.
time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay. Love that.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged
The end is never the
an
end
entirely
again.
new
427.
experience built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Stanley Parable 2. Taste the sequel. Tasty, tasty sequel. Still can't open doors. Best of
Calling it the
showcase.
Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement.
Okay,
right
I remember
pretty
this, but
oriented.
now I forgot
It
I read someone
screams
playing this game one
progress
time, and I think they were
innovation
playing it at
and
this point.
long-term
So I
franchising
completely forgot about this until now. Fortunately, it makes just as much sense in context now as it did then. More TSP, better TSP, paradigm shift, synergy, brick and mortar approach, envelope, search circuit meaning, color red, leverage holistic value, sequential mind share. Stanley Parable 2, logo ideas. Thanks for attending my Stanley Parable 2, Last of Us, Vampire, what's it called, the one, Masquerade, Nike, super cringe Hot Topic look, and then thanks for attending my meeting. 2 Stanleys.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley
course
Parable
not.
2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them.
fuck
It'll all
off.
work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or
The
logical.
prequel,
really.
Able to is the sequel of the Stanley Parables, the sequel of Stanley Parables, the sequel of Stanley Parables is the prequel. Is the sequel is the prequel. Every pause button is a Roman numeral 2. Just the 2 of us. Something. Way to show floor value to investors. New features, new content. Expo Hall. The motion sickness is starting to come back. This is definitely going to have to be the last I can
Here
do
we
it.
are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Reassurance bucket. Merch. Here's the best new feature. 2. The end is never the end again. They're back. 2 doors. I saw the new content. Please no screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
That.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Of course. Love that.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on. You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
New achievement. Just works.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Yeah, I should have stopped a bit ago. Damn it. What happens if I quit? Where do I pick up? Where does it leave off?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh no.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he...
Do I have to restart everything from the beginning? I hope not. I don't know what happened. Fuck. Well, I'm gonna be done for today. Schedule KOTOR 2 tomorrow. Might not be anything Saturday. Because the happy holidays, happy Easter, everybody. Alright, that's what I got. I'm gonna go Red Crazy Sunshine. They're playing Stardew. Thank you everybody for joining. It's always a pleasure. Hopefully next time I take myself seriously when I say don't play too long. Hopefully. Because, you know, I can be smart sometimes, I swear. I'm gonna go play with Kitty. Thank you everybody for joining. It's always the pleasure. See you another time. Later.